Welcome to the channel. This video is going to be about the Deviantart Creepshow art allegations. This will take into consideration as much of what is available as possible, bearing in mind that not everything in this video will make sense and there are not always screenshots and evidence to back things up. This will be a presentation of information provided and a combination of research where possible. It will not take everything as fact for that reason. This video will tread around things such as dead names and homophobia. Although these things are present in much of the research, they will not be presented in this video, and will instead be explained enough that hopefully it makes sense without these being present. Please do not take this video as fact, as it is not. Just before I get into the video that I'm referencing is no longer online, and although I used it as a way to best construct a timeline and use quotes from the video, I do not have a copy of the video. I also managed to reach out to the person who made the video, who goes by the name Ash, who said the following about the video being taken down. I've cut out information that I feel I don't have the right to share, which is why the email looks a bit strange. A lot of this, if not all of it, was publicly shared in a video recently uploaded by Ash. Ash said, "Hi there, I've deleted the video as I'm currently not mentally well enough to deal with anything else right now. It's too much attention that I'm not used to as someone with anxiety. I want to elaborate further on everything, but because of the situation and my mental health, I'm not in the right frame of mind to be going through any more past accounts and things. I really only made the video for myself and Emily Artful to share solace with her. I might, in time when my life is more stable, go dive back into all that. But right now I'm literally up at 5 AM crying my eyes out. I hope you understand. I'm going to be on hiatus until I'm able to move away." Going back through Encyclopedia Dramatica and the posts have messed me up a bit more mentally reading back on them, because it sort of piled itself onto the current situation I'm in and my low self-esteem. Now with that in mind, let's get into the video. It is known that Shannon is or was a user of Deviantart, with her main account being active since 2016, although this drama mentions things as early as 2011. So what happened between 2011 and 2016/17? Well, that's what this video is going to explore, or at least try to. Also, I understand that 2011 is a decade ago, but this video is to show an alleged pattern of behavior. Just to avoid confusion, the person who made the video about the allegations will be referred to by multiple names in this video, including Ash, Mary Curie, Cass, and Ray Kamari, but will not be referred to by their dead name. It's alleged that in 2011 that a Deviantart user who at the time went by the name Ray Kamari was messaged by a person called Millie Fuel. That is not how you pronounce it, but that is how I'm pronouncing it. Who they allege is who we now know as Creepshow art. Although I did say in my previous video that I cannot find any proof of who the username actually belonged to, and their existence is not archived anywhere to my knowledge, which was actually wrong. The reason why I couldn't find it was because I was simply spelling it wrong. Although there isn't much about them that still exists, just the fact that someone drew a drawing for them mainly and some comments that they made. Although they do state that her and her boyfriend were starting up an avatar site. I do not know what that site is, I couldn't find it. There are some messages that Ash put in a Google Drive that Millie Fuel had sent them in 2011, and here's one of them. It reads, "I'm okay with you taking inspiration from me, but it kinda makes me uncomfortable and bums me out because now you have dropped your old art style completely in turn of this new style, and I think you've taken a lot more from my style than inspiration, like I thought. I was alright with inspiration, but now you are taking such a drastic change from what I thought you were doing, you know? You dropped your older style completely, so all your older elements are like all gone and you just adopted all of me, and I think your new style is mostly me and not you, which makes it more like copying instead of just inspiration. I do take inspiration from other artists as well, but I try to put in enough of myself that it becomes my art style rather than theirs. Also, you didn't ask me if referencing my style was okay, you just told me that I inspired you to try something new." That is one of the screenshots from around that time that exist in a Google Drive. The Google Drive was shared by Ash in the comments of the video that they uploaded I do have a copy. I don't know if they're wanting it to still be shared or not. I am likely not the only one with a copy though. And for context purposes, it will be linked in the description below, along with their video explaining why they took the video down, as long as it's still online. They go on to say that they deactivated and created a new account in 2012 called Ray Kamari, although the messages were from late 2011, so I'm not sure it's overly crucial, though that's like potentially a month or two. They also mention an account called Mari Kiri that they had created. There's also a mention in the video of things such as emails sent and Skype groups created, which unfortunately aren't too likely to have receipts to back them up. But as they do mention emails, there does in fact exist a post from their deactivated account, Mari Kiri. Some emails from a 2011 post. I don't know if these are relevant as it is not said who they are from. They edited the originals to block out their email address, which I understand. In the timeline from their video, they mention getting emails when they came back, although this post is from 2011. There is a mention of someone called Kaz in the comments, who it seems people allege sent these messages. I found one mention of Kaz ever on Deviantart, which was found by googling the username Kaz, which was found on a screenshot of a post from SoFine. The identity of Kaz is a whole other question that I'm not sure I have the answer to. Here, by the way, is one of those emails that was sent. All of them will be linked in the description below, as they are technically publicly available as of right now. And they all generally carry the same tone, which comes with a warning. This email comes with a warning, and so do the others, and so does a whole bunch of this stuff. This says, "Lol, so you ruined someone's Christmas, I heard." And the context for that is still publicly available, but I don't think it is relevant to this video. You are such a pathetic excuse for a kid, seriously, and all those people who are calling you mature obviously haven't seen what a dick you have been to a certain someone. Yeah, I'm a fan of Aisha, and no, I don't believe she traces, and what you are saying is just creating more drama that she doesn't fucking need. Do you understand what a fucking brat you are? Do you think you are clever? I don't give a shit what your motive is, but stop it. Just fucking stop, or else I swear I'll come after you. You think because you are a kid you can get away with what you are doing? Who the fuck do you think you are? Really? What gives you the right to bully someone else because you are a kid? And I read that person's journal. All they are is an insensitive prick who is so biased. I fucking hope you rot in hell. As I said, the next two emails that are publicly available carry on in a similar fashion, just as a warning. Although I said I don't have the answer to who Kaz is the one who supposedly sent those messages, there is an interesting piece of information. Ash says in their video that Shannon went around playing sock puppets, playing both sides of the drama and pretending to be a friend of mine, which is confirmed by the police. I'll get to the police bit soon, but they go on to say that she sent threatening emails through Hotmail, which is what was used for those emails, pretending to be my sock puppet account, which is where things get interesting, because there is a post by SoFine that details an event where Kaz, who is said to be the person who sent the emails, is actually the user Mari Kiri, implying that Kaz is a sock puppet of Mari Kiri supposedly. But this is where it gets kind of interesting, because along with Kaz supposedly not being 13 and actually being 22, and not supposedly living in the UK but in America, but had at the time that the post moved back to the UK near where Mari Kiri was, if Creepshow was involved, it would make sense that Kaz would be older than Mari Kiri, although they did admit to pretending to be older in the video that they put out recently. I don't know if this is one of those instances. This would fit into why Kaz sent the messages to Ray Kamari, who is an alias of Mari Kiri, and why it doesn't make sense. In short, it seems that allegedly, this person is saying that the person we know as Creepshow had access to the Kaz account potentially, as they mentioned at one point in the video that they shared their password with who is said to be Creepshow, and sent these emails to them. Although to anyone who didn't know, it would look like they were just sending abusive messages to themselves. It would also explain the comment about Creepshow sending emails through Hotmail pretending to be the sock puppet account. It's unknown and likely unconfirmable that this is the case, but it is an opinion of mine and I could very, very well be wrong. Let me know your thoughts about in the comment section below. Happy to have a discussion. The police statement is a bit interesting for a few reasons. It is said in the previously mentioned post by So Fine that Kaz was supposedly going to jail, which I don't know where that came from. But the most interesting piece is definitely when Ash says all of which is confirmed by the police, which would imply that this alleges Shannon has used or been caught using sock puppets on IPs before, just like what allegedly happened with Lolcow, if all of this is to be believed. 7 minutes into the video is said that themselves, Ash, Shannon, So Fine and a group of people were manipulating them on Skype, as the people in the group were 20 something while they were 13. It's also mentioned a bit earlier that they accused an artist of copying So Fine's work. It's also previously mentioned someone called Aisha, who I think was actually the main person that was being accused. Because it sounds like So Fine was actually a friend of Unicorn Police. They also note that both them and allegedly Shannon had sock puppet accounts and they weren't a saint, they as in Ash. They also go on to mention that So Fine had created a journal entry about them after everything had died down. This is likely to be either the December 2011 or January 2012 post entitled On Hacking and Tracing Hiding on DA, or if you're wondering why, respectively, as they're both about Ash. Although they do say that there was speculation about So Fine tracing, and there is only one of these posts about tracing, which is On Hacking and Tracing Hiding on DA. They also claim that they were thrown under the bus, which makes sense reading the post about tracing, because it speaks about tracing and then the rest of it almost is dedicated to them being Ash. There exists a now deleted third journal entry called Fuck Shit, which doesn't contain much but is archived on the Wayback Machine regardless. I don't know who the friend that they had that was bullied was. Their username could likely be listed under the usernames that Ash used. It's never mentioned in the video what Shannon's alleged accounts were called, but as they only mention themselves and So Fine, this is not too surprising. Although Millie Fuel is shown in the screenshots provided by Ash and is assumed to be one of the accounts. They go on to say that someone posted on an artist's Tumblr blog that they didn't think their art was very good. I tried to find this Tumblr blog. There is a mention of their username on something called Kawaii Artist Confessions, and they also got a mention on what is now called Kawaii History. But given their various names, I don't know if it was either of these, but these seemed to exist at the time. It seems as if this was from 2014 from my best judgment, as this is when the Tumblrs were largely active, and that this person was posted about again, which it looks like led to the creation of the Encyclopedia Dramatica page in 2014, which is quite disgusting if I'm being honest. I'm pretty sure some of it even goes against YouTube's rules, which is why I won't go too in depth about it, but there are some important parts, although in saying that, this also shouldn't be taken as fact. It does list that they went under multiple names on multiple websites, they being Ash, just for clarification, including a few that were mentioned at the start of the video. It states that they may have had up to 20 accounts on Deviantart alone. As previously stated, they have admitted to sock puppet accounts, maybe not 20, but multiple. The rest of this is filled with things such as homophobic slurs, ableistic slurs, and just not nice things in general. It is alleged by Ash that this was made by who we now know as Creepshow and the previously mentioned So Fine. Although this can't be confirmed, and through the revision history there's no names that seem familiar to me, which makes sense given that I have no idea what username I am looking for. Definitely not the name Creepshow, as this was in 2014, 2 years before the creation of SM Creepshow, which I only just figured out the first 3 letters are her initials. There is a chance that maybe there's some more clues on the off chance that one of Ash's multiple accounts is saved to the Wayback Machine have some information that could be definitive. But as of right now, it's inconclusive. I reached out to multiple people who were around then with no luck, unfortunately. Almost everyone responded to me, but has hardly any, if any, memory of what happened. Some people recall their usernames, but not who Reikamari is generally, and no one has expressed any memory of someone who went by the username Millifuel, except for one person. But they don't recall anyone called Shannon, and no one who has responded recalls anyone called Shannon. Although it is alleged to have been her, it is not confirmed or anything that she even went by the name Shannon then. Although the existence of Millie Fuel is confirmed. It was a decade ago though, and at least one person has expressed that it was a traumatic time, so I knew that answers were far from guaranteed. In fact, I was surprised that I could find anyone that was still around. It's not been expressed by Ash how they put two and two together that this person, that Millie Fuel, is allegedly who we now know as Creepshow Art. And that's all I know for now from my research. There's a chance that Ash could come back sometime and blow everyone out of the water with evidence, but until then I think this Deviantart case is all but being explored, but never say never of course. Hopefully this made some sense to you, and if you're curious about the Deviantart Creepshow Art allegations, that this gives you some answers. But as I said at the start, don't take this video as fact. I'll leave as many resources and links in the description as I can, so if you want to explore for yourself, you can do so. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for more content. Peace.